Huntersville, North Carolina. Lake Norman Christian, the spot today on a hot and steamy Friday outside. We are grateful to have the air conditioning inside, and it's a brand new era for Mikey Williams and company as we get a chance to meet the squad. It's the Meet the Squad showcase for Vertical Academy, and getting a chance to see some of the players here today and showing off some of their skills, a little bit of what we'll see here in a couple weeks when their long season of play begins. They'll play 29 games in 15 states, a national schedule if there ever was one, and getting a closer look there on the floor right now at head coach Chandler Scott. Had a chance to chat with Coach Scott a little bit earlier today, find out more about his team, and we have some quotes from him, a little bit more inside information to share with you as we go. But we would be remiss, as we say, to not welcome you in. Corey Hodges and the rest of the team here with you on SUV TV on this Friday. Again, very lucky to be inside, and we get a chance to see this Vertical Academy team led by head coach Chandler Scott. You're seeing them right there on your screen. We also have head coach Chandler Scott mic'd up. You see the mic pack there on his belt, so we'll get a chance to listen in to him, and we'll go ahead and do that now. Listen in to Coach Chandler Scott. We'll step away for a little bit and come back.
Hey, I got him. Hey.
Yeah, they're still going through a couple things, a little bit of close talk there and having a little talk on the floor as well, so they're listening in. That gives us a couple moments to, again, continue our introduction. For those unaware, I know this is pretty recent news as well, and we have our sponsors here first that make all this possible. HBCU Game Pass, or League Pass, Zone Sports, Clean Juice of Birkdale Commons right here in Huntersville, North Carolina, and Limitless Sports Events presenting our coverage today for the Meet the Team Showcase for the brand new Vertical Academy. We'll run through those a little bit later on as well, but keeping our coverage on. Here's Coach Chandler Scott again.
Let's go. No. 3 weave to the pass and cut. Let's go. Hey, keep it tight. Keep it tight. Okay. Go wide. Not too wide, though. Let's go. Yep. Get it out. Let's go. Push, push, push. Nothing there, nothing there. Kick back. Hand off. Attack, attack. Knock down. Shot. 3 more, 3 more, 3 more, 3 more. Let's go. Attack, attack. See what you got, see what you got. Cut, cut. Corner, get to the corner. Be ready. Let's go, get it out. Let's go. See what you got in the corner. Nothing, kick back. Hand off. Yeah, hand off at the top. Hey, stay close on the handoff. Close on the handoff. Not too much room between the handoff. Get out. Attack, see what you got, Tim. You ain't got nothing, kick back to the prop. Hand off. Good job, way to stay tight. Bang, bang. Be there. Let's go, get it out. Let's go. See what you got, Josh. See what you got. Nothing. Kick up top. Here. Corner. Three more. Let's go. Make sure we roll, good roll. Hey, hit the roller next time. Next time, hit the roller instead of the corner. Hit the roller. Hit the roller. Hit the roller. Let's go. Get down here. See what you got. You got nothing. Roller. All right, next up, hit the roller. We hit the roller instead of the corner. Let's go. That's the one off the handoff. Attack, attack, attack. Get here. See what you got. See what you got. There you go. Nothing. Roller. Roller. Corner. Good job. Let's go. Get it out. Sir, let's go get it out. Hit the roll off the handoff. Let's go, let's go. Roll off the handoff. Get it out. Push, see what you got. Nick, you don't need that dribble. You don't need that dribble, Nick. Just catch it and go, catch it and go. Spacing, spacing. Hit him. Good job, Cole.
We've been listening in to head coach Chandler Scott, new man for this brand new Vertical Academy team, and getting a chance to see all of the players out on the floor, and they're working in threes as we've been able to see. And you'll catch, of course, Mikey Williams wearing number 1, bit of a new hairstyle for Mikey, coming in with a more braided look. Had to look 2 or 3 times to make sure that was Mikey, but of course that's him, and he's flying high. You can tell all the work that he's put in since we last saw him earlier this year when it was for Lake Norman. Of course, all these players still going to Lake Norman. That's where they'll gain their education, have their classes, but it's a all basketball school here for the Vertical Academy, trying to get up there with some national recognition. Schools like IMG, Prolific Prep, others have taken this same model, and they've been able to do some incredible things with it to where it's just a true focus on basketball. You're putting the academics still in the hand of the high school, and that's exactly what is trying to be built right here in Huntersville, in the heart of Charlotte, and then the Charlotte, North Carolina Metroplex. But when you look up and down the team roster that we were just handed, I got one last night. We have one in print now. But head coach Chandler Scott, his assistant Brandon Bailey, but of course starts with Mikey Williams, and of course coming over from San Ysidro, California last season, here to Lake Norman, getting out of the spotlight a little bit. Had a great season. There's Mikey there taking a break and taking a rest, and number 1 for sure, not just in Jersey, but in terms of attention. No one right now has more attention on him than Mikey Williams, and there's a better look at the roster. Starts, of course, with Mikey. Luke Strickland from down in Georgia coming over. A lot of these guys, 2023 guys, so you get the rest of this year, all of 2022, and you get over a year and a half with guys like Mikey and Luke Strickland. Tremayne Parker, big high flyer from Fayetteville, North Carolina, down along the eastern part of the state, close to the coastal plain region. Josh Bullock, I mean, he and Mikey Williams were something last season for Lake Norman. They keep some chemistry there, a relationship with Mikey and Josh. Nick Hamrick coming over from nearby Indian Trail, more to the south of Charlotte, and Corey Carvey coming up from Wilson, North Carolina. So you get another guy from the coastal plain region. And then you start getting a little bit more of a national look, and this is right in connection with Vertical Academy and their plans for their season schedule. Abdul Bey Jr. from Cedar Hill, Texas at 5'9", coming over the guard. Josh Hill from Garner, North Carolina, so keeping it in the Tar Heel State with Hill. And Tim Hall Jr., Lexington, Kentucky. What a basketball state Kentucky is. You get Hall to come over. And then Jazair Jackson, who has been piling up some mentions as well over the last couple years. Let's listen in again to head coach Chandler Scott in the huddle.
Rolling to your left side, coming to your right side, rolling to your right side. So you think if I'm coming here with the ball, coming here, boom, he know he's opening that way. If I'm coming in here with the ball, boom, he know he's opening that way, right? Yeah, just shadow. Let me get 2 up, 2 block. Yeah. 5 good. Hey. My screener, do not move to the second whistle. Hey, offensive man rotate off. Man out, come in the corner. No. Back up. Passing lane. Josh, what you doing? Why you don't want to guard? Oh, okay, all right. It's all right. Look, you and deny him. He trying to get open. You deny him. All right? Much as he can. Ball here. That's not good denial. We need better than that. Work till you get a second. Don't move yet, Tim. Attack him and back up. Let's go. I need it higher. I need that pitch higher. Reset if we have to. Go get him. Roll correctly, Tim. Get backwards to the ball. Rotate. Tim. Remember, whatever shoulder. Remember, if you want a guard to come get it, just get it, hold it, they coming. If you got it, you comfortable up there, rock out. See the ball. Don't lose sight of the ball. Good job, Tim. Good deny. He wants you to come get it, Josh. He told you to come get it. Reset, Pickett. Go. Good roll, Corey. Good pass. Put him in there. Yes, sir. Good job. Way to put it in there. Good job. Rotate. Hey, guard.
Saw a perfect example there a couple moments ago with Corey Carvey going right to the basket. Some terrific coaching by head coach Chandler Scott. There's Carvey right there from Wilson, North Carolina. You see in the foreground there as well. One of the other players, part of this team, kind of staying in there, working with his teammates and just running a lot of plays right now. You'll see it start here at the top with now Carvey on defense. You're really just working some of these fundamentals, whether it be on defense. We saw some transition a little bit earlier as well, just to kind of see how the team will flow. That was Nick Hamrick with the lay-in, just working down there on the low post right now. But I would preface this a little bit earlier, but I had a chance to speak with head coach Chandler Scott earlier today, about a 10-15-minute conversation around 3:30, and he was getting ready today, as you see head coach Scott there. But I posed probably about 4 or 5 questions to him, and he gave some great answers, just some things that I personally wanted to know because we had such a relationship last season here on SUV TV with Lake Norman Christian. Had a chance to do broadcast not only games here in Huntersville but also on the road, and got to know Mikey, of course, very well, and then some of his teammates, and to see some of those come over like a Josh Bullock and continuing the Lake Norman style to bring over some of these guys to Vertical Academy. But I asked him about Mikey, and I mean, that's the question on everyone's mind. You know, has Mikey improved? Well, of course he's improved, but what are some of the things that he's brought over? And head coach Scott, realizing, of course, too, that Chandler Scott hasn't had a whole lot of time yet to get acquainted with Mikey Williams and to figure out his entire game. As you get a closer look there at Nick Hamrick on the bench, wearing number 13. But about Mikey, Chandler Scott, head coach of Vertical Academy, saying the misconception, I think this is probably an overwhelming misconception, he said, is that Mikey's just a scorer. And he's not just a regular scorer, but he can score on all 4 levels, specifically in the post. A lot of these highlights that you see, whether it's on SUV TV or other high school media outlets, they're focusing on the threes and the dunks, but he's a great low post scorer, despite the fact that he is a guard, and you'll see him mostly at the perimeter. He can get inside, and we know about his dunks, but what he can do on the low post, his passing ability too. He's a playmaker. Something else that Chandler Scott had to say to me earlier today about Mikey Williams. And that's just one of the things that will be displayed this season. Another closer look there at Mikey, and he's a playmaker. He's a scorer on all 4 levels, but not just a scorer. He can pass. He can be a double-double guy with points and assists, seeing that floor better, and he's continued to work on his footwork. And you can see that already just in the, about 15, 20 minutes that we've been here so far for this Meet the Squad scrimmage for the brand-new Vertical Academy. You're seeing the vision. You're seeing the team earlier working in transition. Now they're keeping it here on the half court, and Mikey staying loose and light over there, bouncing the ball, a couple laughs with the teammate. But about this Lake Norman school that will be working in direct, I guess, congruence with Vertical Academy. Lake Norman, of course, highly accredited. This is a beautiful facility. We had a chance here on SUV TV to actually visit this gym, this school, earlier this year for one of our broadcasts of Lake Norman basketball, and the facilities here are on a sterling level. This is a place that not only values academia, but also the environment for their students and their student athletes. Highly accredited, something else that Chandler Scott, head coach for Vertical Academy, was quick to point out. Highly accredited Lake Norman. You keep the basketball tied in with the academics. Lake Norman creating a platform where these players that you see right here on the floor, they can do virtual learning, which allows for some of these long plane trips across the country. Again, we mentioned the schedule, 29 games starting here just on September the 10th. So you're talking about a week and a half, a little bit less than 2 weeks, and this Vertical Academy team will be in action down in sunny Miami. That's on September 10th, their opening game. We've yet to see a full schedule. Let's go back now, listening to head coach Chandler Scott and the team.
What's up, man? What's up, you all right? Good to see you. Hey, everybody got somebody? You can shoot? Let's go. He ready, man. He ready. He ready. Hey, don't he look ready? Hey, you look ready to me, man. That's right. He ready, man. He ready. All right, split up half and half. 4 on each side. 4 pairs on each side. Your knockout partner. That's who you pick? Man, come on, man. You pick your brother. Man, you see him every day. Go get somebody else, man. Go get somebody else, man. Come on, man. Y'all tripping, man. Come on, man. Y'all trying to cheat, man. All right, that's it. We got it. We got it. Hey, let's go. Hey, we have here Josh, Corey.
I think it's on half court each side. Maybe probably just doing work pairing off and doing it on each side, I think.
Over here.
Yeah.
4 over here. On the whistle. We starting on the whistle. Look, we starting on the whistle. Free throw line. Free throw line. No threes. Free throw line. Free throw line.
Yeah.
On the whistle. We ready? Free throw line. Free throw line. We got kids, man. We got kids. On the whistle.
Free throw competition.
You out already? Hey, you got to shoot. You got to put him out. Hey, you out, you out.
Well, we've got some of the Lake Norman students involved, some smaller ones, some taller ones, and they're out there joining their new Vertical Academy team. And this will be the team they'll be cheering on here in just a couple weeks and going through 5+ months, a team that's going to play from September through March. And again, talking about 30 games over the course of about 5 months, averaging out to around 6-7 games a month, and you'll throw in some extra ones there for tournament play, and who knows what the final schedule will look like. Still waiting on that final schedule, but needless to say, although we'll say it anyway, it'll be a schedule full of great competition, great opponents for this Vertical Academy team, but keeping it light here for this Meet the Squad showcase and involving some of the students. And again, this was a closed to the public event, of course exclusive streaming here on SUV TV, but closed to the public, and tickets were available for some of the Lake Norman students to come out and get loose. School just starting again for a lot of these, for pretty much everyone on the floor right now, back in school just over the last week or so. And of course out there with Mikey, just shooting some free throws, working on some runners, some floaters, simple stuff, but great for the students to have a chance to actually be involved with the team they'll be cheering on. But back to some of our discussion from earlier today with head coach Chandler Scott, who we have had mic'd up throughout. But they've been working on 2-a-day practice sessions for the last 2 weeks, with high school football already now starting. They were working in 2-a-days. Well, basketball's doing the same thing. And I didn't actually ask this. I should say I didn't pose this to head coach Chandler Scott earlier, but of course it's hard right now to get your mind around basketball, because it is almost 100 degrees outside and not even finished with August yet, as they call it, dog days of summer. So it's tough to really wrap your head around transitioning to basketball, a sport that's predominantly played, of course, in the winter months. But make no doubt about it, two-a-days for the last few weeks for this Vertical Academy team, as you see another closer look there at Mikey Williams. And that's going to continue up until that opening game on September the 10th down in Miami. And this team is partly started, partly founded as well by Malin Williams, Mikey Williams' father. So it's a big part of the Williams family to start this and give a place for Mikey to play while continuing his education here at Lake Norman. And I think when you see that family element involved, it goes to show just how great of an opening season it was for Mikey here at Lake Norman. But this whole Meet the Squad practice showcase, we've had the short practice session. You get some individual, some team competition, and of course you get a chance to get the Lake Norman students involved as well. And that was part of the flyer that was sent out a couple days ago. Select students having a chance to participate in some of the fun, and we're seeing that now. But more about Vertical Academy, created to offer high school student athletes a unique way to prepare for college basketball and beyond. And this is straight from the press release. In partnership with Lake Norman Christian School right here in Huntersville, North Carolina, participants receiving the best in college preparatory academic guidance, and they train in a fully integrated basketball development program. Inaugural season coming up, and this roster will consist of players from 5 different states, and that goes Georgia, North Carolina, Texas, Kentucky, and California. 5 different states comprising of nationally ranked players and a handful of lesser-known gems ready to make their mark. But the roster, led by head coach Chandler Scott and his assistant Brandon Bailey, was some of the best, and we mentioned some of their names a little bit earlier. If you look in more closely, some of these guys ranked at the top. You see the roster there again on your screen, but specifically Mikey Williams and Josh Bullock is there. And you see Josh Hill too. Some of these guys ranked in the top part of the North Carolina high school rankings before the season begins. So you're already going to have a lot of top 50 guys, top 100 guys, and again some new entrants as well to spice things up a bit and to add some of that competition and add some of that flair for some new guys here to the Huntersville area, and that's always great to see. And we saw it last season with Lake Norman, how they just got better and better, and some terrific highlights, some terrific team game between these guys, and they really started to get their chemistry going, and it really shouldn't dive off any with Mikey Williams still here and a chance to stay with a couple of his teammates and work with some of the new guys here at Vertical Academy. But I guess the big thing right now has to be looking forward to that schedule to be announced and see when and where the games will be played and who they'll go up against. And Lake Norman was in a similar situation last year for those that were able to join our coverage here on SUV TV, to where they went to Texas. They went to went outside of North Carolina. Granted, they played the majority of their conference or region schedule, as they call it in high school basketball here in the state. Most of the games were played in and around the Huntersville area, but for quite a while last season as well, as you get a closer look there at Abdul Bayad Jr. on the floor putting up some shots. But a lot of their contests home-wise last season for Lake Norman were actually played down at the Rock Hill Sports and Event Center, and they kind of bounced back and forth. But, for Bayad Jr., class of 2022 coming up from Cedar Hill, Texas, and just one of the guys as well for this team that has college offers. And there's a closer look at Luke Strickland from Leeburn, Georgia, as part of this team. There's Strickland. Bayah has interest from Hampton, Upstate, Southern Methodist, Stetson. Get a closer look at Strickland too, what he's done from Georgia, and to making the short trip back to North Carolina, and kind of stays local as well. He'll get a chance to actually see some teams he's probably already played before. But it's Strickland has a 3, had a couple 3-pointers last season against Brookwood. Some of his recent action back in January, good 3-point shooter. So he had 3 threes against Decula, Georgia last season, 4 threes against South Gwinnett. A big 3-point shooter for Strickland. So you want that out there if you're going to play pace and space, as the new saying goes. And another look at Mikey putting those shots up as well, working on that 3, a shot that he took in bunches last season early on when Lake Norman kind of steamrolled the competition, to use that term, down at the Rock Hill Sports and Event Center. Some of their games last season, when we had some of the early coverage back in November of last year, they were up by 30, 40 points before halftime, and the competition was lacking a little bit. And there's Josh Hill putting those shots up as well, teammate of Mikey's from last season, coming over and continuing his partnership with Mikey. But a lot of the games early on allowed Mikey to showcase more of his three-point shot, some of his dunks, some of his flair, his highlights, getting into it. His Bayard Jr., a little bit of a flex with assistant coach Brandon Bailey, and got plenty of cameras out there as well, not only ours, but you see some sitting and standing with their handheld cameras and getting a closer look at the action. But I remember those early games last season for Lake Norman when they were just, running past the competition, and then the season changed a little bit for Lake Norman last year, and what was Mikey's debut season with Lake Norman. This will be his second season here in Huntersville, now going through what my dad always liked to refer to as the Death Valley runs, going from one side of the floor to the other. I remember him always saying that he would do this, of course, back in the 60s and 70s. The drill hasn't changed at all. It's still running from one side of the floor to the other. And you know what happens normally after this? They'll make them run from one side of the floor to the other and then stop and take free throws to simulate in-game action, to see if you can slow the heart rate down and be able to step to the line and actually hit a couple free throws in the course of a back-and-forth game. And if this is a true high school basketball environment, and it is here at Vertical Academy, they'll run them out, and then they'll make them shoot free throws, take threes, and simulate that in-game action before it happens for real coming up on September the 10th. But I guess the narrative, the dynamic, of course, Mikey was injured for a little bit of last season, did not miss a whole lot of games, but missed a couple later in the season. Some of those games that Mikey set out were for more precautionary reasons, as there's number one, Mikey Williams again, but his role changed quite a bit early on. He was just piling up points and dunks and all the stuff that gets you on the highlight reel. But as the season went along, turned into more of a playmaker. In fact, some nights Mikey may have only had 7, 8 points, but he was assisting, he was making plays for others, and I think we started to see Mikey Williams morph into more of that true point guard. Some of the things that head coach Chandler Scott, as you see him there on your screen, Scott mic'd up again. He's been talking to his players, working them through drills. We'll go back to him now. But Scott, he knows that Mikey's a playmaker. Let's listen in a little bit more.
Got 4 here. Corner, wing, corner. Knock shots down. Let it shoot it. Stay on the floor, stay on the floor. Yes, sir, shoot that thing.
And the mic pack there for head coach Chandler Scott got moved around a little bit of static interference. But I did have a chance to look at our chat from a couple moments ago, and great to see so many of you joining in. And I go to Sky 8 Ball with one of his questions from earlier, about 10 minutes ago. They'll play on the national level, and they will. 29 games, 15 states. And still waiting for the full schedule to be announced, but they'll be taking on some of the top competition nationally. And that's something else as well. I didn't write it down for the notes, but I remember head coach Chandler Scott earlier today when he and I talked a little bit, the virtual learning aspect that Lake Norman has fully embraced and fully intertwined with this Vertical Academy team. the 6-hour flights, the 5 6-hour flights that this team will be making when they have to go to Texas, when they have to go to Kentucky, when they have to go to north, south, east, and west. Really, the virtual learning part of that will allow Vertical Academy to go on the road. As you get a look there at Nick Hamrick, another one of the guys suiting up for Vertical this season. But from Chandler Burgess Taylor on the chat, which team do you look forward to seeing them play coming up this season? And that's the thing, Chandler, is the fact that we're not quite sure yet about what the schedule is going to look like for Lake Norman. But, of course, you would expect if they could play a team like IMG or a Prolific Preps, one of the top teams in the nation in terms of high school hoops, that would allow them to showcase some of their talents. It was interesting to hear Coach Scott earlier today really put forward a lot of confidence about what he expects out of this team. And again, when you go 2-a-days and in the heat of the still summer, getting these guys ready for high school basketball starting in early September, which for most high schools, especially those 5A, 6A, 7A schools, they're not starting their basketball until at least maybe early November at the very earliest. So it almost in a way will give Vertical Academy a chance to get a jump start, if you will, and almost put this into a professional basketball type of light, to where pro ball goes through for summer league, and then you'll start your season in mid-October. So it gives these guys a chance when they look towards a professional setting to understand that you're not just playing basketball in the wintertime, you're also going to be playing right now in the middle of the summer, not just practicing, but getting ready for actual competition. But that's the thing, Chandler, as we go back to the chat. If you know anything about high school basketball, you know the top 10, top 15 in the national rankings. And I would assume, and of course just an assumption, but I would assume that Vertical Academy has already been in the works. Of course, with September 10th coming up down in Miami, they're going to get a schedule announced very soon. And more than likely, they've already got most of these games already confirmed, just a matter of releasing it. But that's pretty well anticipated right now, to see that schedule, to see their competition. And as Chandler Scott said earlier today in our quick interview call, put the ball out there and play, see how they stack up. But virtual learning will help this team when they travel, and you get the academics tied in with Lake Norman. It really is a terrific setting here in Huntersville as well. For those that haven't had a chance to actually attend a game here at Lake Norman Christian, it's a beautiful facility, really on par with the top Division I college almost, and really even any private college for that matter. For a high school, it's one of the nicest you'll be in. And this gym itself is not like a typical high school gym. It's set up to allow these players to put on a little bit of a show, and it just has more, I'm not sure if elegance is the right word, but more of a upper level feel for high school basketball. Sometimes you go into certain high school gyms and you can tell they've been there for a while. That adds some flair, some character, but here at Lake Norman, it still has a little bit of the fresh paint kind of feel. It's well maintained, great custodial class, and they keep it nice. It's a professional setting when you come in here, and it kind of elevates it a little bit. So it's a perfect place, in my opinion, in my mind, for Vertical Academy to play, as we get another look there at Mikey. But back to the team itself, and we're seeing everybody out here right now, whether it be Luke Strickland, Tremayne Parker, Hamrick, Corey Carvey. We've also seen Josh Hill, Tim Hall Jr., Jazeer Jackson, another. I think that's probably, if you go from behind Mikey Williams, I guess probably the next best would be Jazeer Jackson, coming over from California, coming over from IMG. And, the Bradenton, Florida native, a chance at 6'9", just a big body for Jazeer Jackson. I remember last year when we had the main event coverage, which coincidentally enough, SUV TV will be broadcasting the main event again this Sunday in Nashville, and Mikey Williams will be there again for one of the top showcase events in the summer. But Mikey will make the trip, probably head out tonight, maybe tomorrow morning, get there, get some prep in, and he'll be part of the main event coverage on Sunday. Paul Biancardi will be there, Vince Baldwin too. And that'll be a great broadcast at 3 o'clock on Sunday here on SUV TV. But Jazeer Jackson, he was there too, and we had a chance just to see how big and tall Jazair Jackson is, and how dominant he can be in the low post. A guy who's already scratching the 7-foot mark, and it's a possibility for Jackson to add another inch or two, and a guy who can run the floor, put a guy like Mikey Williams with Jazair Jackson. That goes back to some of those classic combinations of a point guard and a big dominant center, and I think you may be seeing the 1-2 punch already, and that's kind of the two headliners, Mikey and Jazair Jackson, as this meet the squad scrimmage continues. And there's head coach Chandler Scott, who's been talking this team through all of their plays. You see the fans in attendance as well. Again, a close to the public event. You had to have special invitation to be here tonight. If you couldn't catch the coverage on SUV TV, you had to have a special invite. So again, part of that VIP nature of the event. It's not just a regular high school practice. This has a little bit of it's an element of flair, I guess is the best way to say it. It kind of gives it that element of exclusivity that you don't normally have in high school basketball. I mean, who else at this time of the year is broadcasting their scrimmage when you've got it close to the public? You've got that little bit of kind of behind the curtain look, if you will. And yeah, you can tell things are done a little bit differently here for Vertical Academy, newly formed here in Huntersville, as there's Nick Camrick and skying a little bit. Guys have shown off some dunks already. If you want to get a chance to see some dunks, you can see it now as Mikey's out there, two teammates, and Mikey kind of playing with his threesome down the other side there, and just kind of playing with the moves, playing with the handles. Getting some dunks in there. Corey Carvey with the slam, if you want to follow these guys for a trip or two down the floor, but it's real loose. It's kept light. Strickland with the lay-in. It's keeping it simple. Layup drills. We saw the free throw competition from earlier involving some of the students, but they're also getting guys open for three. That was Bullock trying out that three. We saw Bullock last year with some big dunks, but also has a three-point shot. I mean, you can go up and down the list here for guys who have a three, and going up to Mikey there with that slam and a little bit of aerial display. There's Corey Carvey again there, number 15 for Vertical Academy. You're really just getting guys to break a sweat almost in a way, and to show off some of their moves for the fans here for an event that scheduled to last for about an hour for the newly formed Vertical Academy here in Huntersville, North Carolina. Here's Strickland. Check out that three-point shot. He had a bundle of them last year, and there's Strickland with another. You can already see some of the style of play, even though this is just an intra-squad scrimmage. You know how often so many coaches, there's Josh Hill and others, but you get a chance to see some of the speed of this team, kind of what they want to show off going into the regular season. As we, again, thank our sponsors, HBCU League Pass, Zone Sports, Clean Juice of Burkdale Commons right here in Huntersville, North Carolina, and Limitless Sports Events, Sports, S-P-O-R-T-Z, Limitless Sports Events, presenting our coverage on this Friday evening now, early evening here on SUV TV for the Meet the Squad scrimmage, and a chance to see all the new guys, some of the returners from Lake Norman, and now part of Vertical Academy, again, trying to put themselves up there in the rankings. When you look at national, high school basketball rankings in terms of team play, it's kind of dominated by the same 5 or 10 seemingly every year. As you see a nice dunk there for Josh Hill, just working on that transition game, getting a chance for guys to show off some of their skills, kind of like that, to Luke Strickland, who sets the feet and tries out that three. And I don't think he's really missed his last 2 or 3 tries. I know he's wide open, but still, you got to be able to make that shot regardless. I know if I'm open in the corner at home in the backyard on the basket, a defender in front of me or not, if my dad's standing in front of me guarding me, it's a little bit more difficult, but even by yourself, it's not easy. And there's Mikey, who makes stuff like that seem very easy with that one-handed stuff. But, you go to Matter Day out in Santa Ana, California, IMG Academy down in Bradenton. Of course, Vertical Academy gets Jazair Jackson from IMG, so they stole him just a little bit, if you will. But Abdul Bayad Jr., and this is from a downfall on our chat, Bayad Jr. is 5'9", 155. And then we've got all the heights and weights listed, and you see some of them at already. Jackson at 7 feet, Josh Hill at 6'9". You got guys, as I mentioned earlier, scratching the surface of 7 feet. But Westlake, St. John Bosco, Thompson, St. Thomas Aquinas, American Heritage, St. Francis Academy. You're seeing some of these that have been ranked up in the top 10, top 15. Duncanville has been hanging in there for quite a number of years down in Texas. Let's go into the huddle and listen in a little bit to what they're talking about.
If someone makes their first shot, I got 100 on it.
Going to eat, man. We're going to eat. Hey, line up, line up. Hey, in order by number, in order by number. Order by number. Order by number. Order by number. You picked it. You picked the number. Oh, God. He took it from you. Oh, he got you. Mikey the first one, so he don't want the money.
Yeah, you heard it right there. It was part of ours. Perfect time to get the mic going again to listen into that huddle, because it was a half-court shot competition there put on, and $100 to the first guy who would hit the half-court shot. One went by, and then Mikey Williams canned it from a little runner from just past the half-court line. So I guess Mikey Williams wins the $100. But you did hear the stipulation inside the huddle that it was to be spent on food, dinner for the night. So not bad. Almost makes me wish I could have been out there in the half-court line to try to score $100. I could have used it for sure. Could have went home and brought back a whole dinner for the entire family. $100 buys you quite a bit of food, especially if you just go right down the road. There's a Chili's right down the street. There's a Longhorn down there. You could spend $100 awfully quickly here just in the surrounding neighborhood around Lake Norman Christian. But I mean, that's what we're talking about here as part of this Meet the Squad showcase. Keeping it light, a little bit of levity here, and giving a chance for some of the students to get involved too. And here they go, taking some of those half-court shots, and actually hit one too from half-court. That's exactly from where Mikey hit it. So a Lake Norman student getting involved. I wonder how much money they have left out there. I think they've already given away 100. That one deserves probably at least $25, $30 just for that half-court shot. Got the Duke Blue Devils shirt on, getting right in the middle of the huddle there at half-court. Look at that. Getting the students involved. That's the other thing as well. How often do you have, I know this never happened at my high school, a chance to actually go out there and play with your high school team. Yeah, I think he's still there in the middle of that huddle. He got paid off with the half-court shot. Yeah, that was something. Yeah, that's kind of what it's all been about here today. Meet and greet the team and get to know some of the players a little bit more. So often you look out there, if you're a high school student, you know obviously a lot of these guys because they play, they're students, of course. You see them in your class, and then I'm just hearkening back to my high school in particular, but you go back and you kind of remember your high school days. Maybe you're in high school now. Maybe you're part of our chat right now and you're in high school. You know how it goes. It hasn't changed really at all. You're there and you're seeing your high school team. They're in class with you, so you may have a chance to form a relationship with some of the guys that play on your high school team, but if not, you're really still only looking out there and seeing jersey numbers. But you get an event like this and get some of the VIP guests, if you will, especially invited students to be a part of this showcase, and all of a sudden you have a little bit of a newfound appreciation for your school's team. As you know, as the Beach Boys said, be true to your school. And I guess these guys are here tonight. They get to be a part of the team for at least an hour as we creep up on the bottom of the hour, and practice looks like it's taking a little bit of a pause and maybe wrapping up. We'll get a confirmation on this. I heard earlier scheduled lasts for an hour, maybe a little bit shorter. I remember we heard a little bit earlier today about 45 minutes. So looks like we've gotten to the end, pretty much wrapped it up here. Got to see some of the back and forth, got to see the threes, the dunks, kind of got everything involved. It was great to see the team and have a chance to get a closer look at them as they'll now get ready to break for the night. Remember, Mikey's got that $100 for dinner tonight, so probably he'll have a couple people piling into his new ride outside and going to the nearest restaurant and chowing down on a Friday, but chance to look at Vertical Academy, this Meet the Squad showcase, and got the students involved as well. And everything starts for this Vertical Academy team September the 10th down in Miami, Florida. They'll start their 5-month schedule. They're going to play from September through March, and it's going to go for an eternity almost in high school basketball terms, but waiting on that schedule to be announced. But we saw the likes of Mikey Williams, Luke Strickland, Tremayne Parker, Bullock, Hamrick, Carvey, Bayard Jr., Hill, Hall Jr., and, of course, Jazair Jackson out there today. And the anticipation continuing to grow before September the 10th, and those that were specially invited tonight and those that were joining us here tonight on SUV TV. An early look at Vertical Academy, led by head coach Chandler Scott and his assistant Brandon Bailey. So that's going to wrap up our coverage tonight pretty quick. Got in and out about 45 minutes, and an early look at Vertical Academy. Again, special thanks to Clean Juice of Burkdale Commons right here in Huntersville, North Carolina, Zone Sports, and Limitless Sports Events as well, part of our sponsors, and also HBCU League Pass, helping to bring our coverage on the air tonight. It's been the Meet the Squad showcase here on SUV TV. Corey Hodges, Nick Dennis out there helping us out tonight as well, wearing the green jacket. Nick was working with Coach Scott with the mic pack and everything, and great job to see him again. And great work as usual. Marcus, Lisa Burnett, the entire team. We'll say goodnight here on a Friday from Huntersville, North Carolina. A little early look at Vertical Academy. This has been the Meet the Squad showcase on SUV TV. Good night.